"This report has been falsified, sir." Those 6 words landed in the Stratton boardroom like a slap so sharp, you could almost hear the breath catch in every throat. The entire room froze, heads turning toward the door. There she stood, Maya Williams, all of 17, visitor badge crooked, hair in a single neat braid, sweatshirt hanging loose. She didn't blink, didn't shrink, and somehow, in the echo that followed, her presence felt bigger than any executive at that long oak table. Richard Stratton, the company's son Maya's godfather, was about to sign the last page of the quarterly report, pen hovering, investors already circling for a historic IPO just days away. The boardroom had been humming with quiet confidence. And then this. "What did you say?" he asked, straightening, searching Maya's face for a hint of a joke, a misunderstanding anything but what he'd just heard. "The report isn't accurate," she said again. "I checked the project Elevate numbers. There's city money that doesn't line up, vendor companies that don't exist outside of a mailbox, and 3 invoices with the same handwriting but different totals. One of them," she added, "was initialed by Emily." Emily knocks the company's iron-willed CFO scoffed, trying to laugh it off. She's a kid. She has no idea what she's looking at. But Maya just stared back. "I wasn't looking for trouble," she said, voice barely above a whisper. "Just waiting for my mom after school. Found a report left on a printer, took a photo. Numbers started itching in my brain. I checked, and, well, you can't unsee it, can you? That's the thing about the truth. Doesn't need a title or a suit. Just needs someone willing to speak it out loud." For a moment, no one moved. Then Richard set his pen down. "I like a few hours to verify," he said. Emily's smile faded. "Rick, don't let emotion cloud your judgment," she whispered, but the room was already shifting. People cleared out, some whispering, others refusing to meet Maya's eyes. She didn't wait for thanks, just turned and walked out, leaving behind a silence loud as thunder. Numbers don't lie, but someone here does. Richard sat alone after everyone left, the report in front of him no longer a symbol of success, but a confession in disguise. He thought of all the little moments he'd ignored Emily's last-minute meetings, rushed reviews, those vendor names that never seemed to ring any bells. But trusting Emily had always been easier than questioning her. That night at home, the city humming outside his penthouse window, Richard faced Emily in their kitchen. "You didn't sign," she said, not looking up from her glass of wine. "I needed time," he replied. She was calm, controlled. "She's a kid, Rick. The reports have gone through 4 levels of review." He shook his head. "But you told me to sign today, urgently." "Delays make us look weak," she shot back, swirling her glass, hiding her eyes. He called the company attorney, Tara Mendez, late that night. "I need you to quietly check 2 vendors, Bridgecore and Horizon. Look for ties, anything off books." Tara's voice sharpened at the words fake vendors, IPO, and fraud. "Give me 24 hours, she said. Richard stayed up late, flipping through Maya's notes, the public city portal, the yellow highlighter, the margin scribbles, company ID not found, P.O. box matches unrelated business. 17 years old, and she'd done more honest digging in a weekend than his own team had in a year. He called Evelyn, Maya's aunt, just to make sure the girl was safe. "She's always been like that," Evelyn told him, gentle but proud. "Quiet until it matters." The next morning, Richard was at the office before dawn, desk covered in papers, Maya's folder pinned open with a gold-lined paperweight. When his assistant, Jordan, brought in coffee, Richard asked about Bridgecore. Jordan frowned. Never met anyone, never seen a face, only their name on reports. "Pull everything tied to those 2 vendors," Richard ordered, "and if anything odd happens, you come straight to me." By mid-morning, Tara called. Bridgecore was registered in Delaware 8 months ago, Shell Corp. No employees, no office. Horizon shares the same mailbox. Both list an emergency contact, Michael Knox, Emily's brother. It got worse. Funds funneled to a Cayman account labeled consultancy fees, routing numbers linked back to Emily's inner circle. That was the twist, the evidence he couldn't ignore. And right there, a reimbursement form slipped into his pile. Falsified signature. His own, but not. Emily had signed his name. At lunch, he called Maya. She came to the old diner her mom used to love, slid into the booth, face set and serious. "You believe me now?" she asked. "I do," he admitted, sliding her the proof. "What now?" she pressed. "We build a case," he said quietly. "But if they know I won't sign, they might try to bury me." She pulled out another folded papera zoning complaint. The project claimed city approval for land that was actually green space. She'd checked the public map, found the fraud. "Google's free," she said, shrugging. "You did all this yourself?" He asked, half in awe. "I didn't do it for the company." He nodded. "I know." That night, as Maya walked home, she noticed a black SUV parked down the block, engine off, windows tinted. She hurried inside, told Evelyn, who immediately called Richard. 20 minutes later, Richard arrived with security. "Stay alert," he told Maya. "You're a threat now." She didn't flinch. Let them be afraid. Next morning, Richard led Maya to the records room, a place few employees ever saw. Together, they pieced through old binders, following the pattern. Vendor names unchanged, budgets increasing, all time for holiday closures so no one noticed. Maya caught an invoice with the same routing number as Horizon S Northbridge, another shell. Payment trails led back to Emily's real estate shell, a fake renovation on a church that never filed a permit. "She's using abandoned property to wash money," Maya explained. "This is more than fraud," Richard realized. "It's racketeering." They gathered everything. The plan: next time they entered the boardroom, they wouldn't be asking questions. They'd be showing answers. Richard prepared all night, coffee cold on his desk, Maya's folder open, resolve building in his chest. Jordan brought a flash trivia call recording of Emily and her brother plotting to pin everything on Richard. Someone had tried to delete Maya's file from the server. The attempt was traced to Emily's admin login. Richard confronted Emily at a quiet restaurant, laying out the evidence. "You lied to me," he said softly. "You forged my name." She barely flinched. "You trusted me to handle it. No one will question that." He left, phone already in hand. "Tara, I'm ready." That night, in a private garage, Richard handed Tara everything. Flash drive, Maya's notes, zoning complaint, surveillance photos. "She doesn't think she'll be touched," he said. Tara just smiled grimly. "We'll make sure she's wrong." Richard texted Maya. "Tomorrow morning, conference room 5B. You're coming with me." She replied, "I'm ready." By 9 a.m., the boardroom hummed with nervous energy. Richard entered first, Maya beside him, calm, unreadable, a navy blazer over her dress. Emily, cool as ever, sat across from them, lips curled at the corners. Richard opened. "Before we discuss the IPO, we have something urgent: fraud at the highest level." He handed out records, pointed to Maya. She found the first discrepancy, a zoning error in Bridgecore's proposal. Maya explained. The site didn't exist. The room fell silent as the money trail flickered onto the big screen. "That's absurd," Emily protested. Richard cut her off. "She's a whistleblower. Her findings are verified by outside counsel." The evidence was overwhelming. Audio, records, the money trail, and a call where Emily and Michael planned to use Richard as a shield. Emily stood, pale but unbroken. "Character assassination," she snapped. Tara stepped forward with the audio. For too long, Richard told the board, they'd handled things quietly and wrongly. "If we want to restore trust, we start by telling the truth in the light." Emily was escorted out, pride gone. The boardroom fell into a hush. "Thank you for not staying quiet," Richard told Maya. She smiled, remembering something her father used to say, "Justice doesn't shout, it waits for the right room to speak." "Now," Richard said, "let's clean house." And so the reckoning began, not with rage, but with resolve, not with fists, but with facts. At the center, a 17-year-old girl who wouldn't stay silent. Outside, as the city buzzed below, Maya walked beside Richard on the rooftop, the sun slipping lower, turning the skyline gold. "You did more than save a company," he told her quietly. She shrugged. "I just told the truth." He handed her an envelope, a scholarship, full ride, any school, any program. "Only if I can intern here next summer," she replied with a crooked grin. He laughed, tension easing. You've already been running the place. Sometimes justice doesn't roar, Maya thought, sipping hot cocoa as the breeze softened. Sometimes it just whispers loud enough to bring down an empire. Now, let me ask you, when it comes to truth and loyalty, what would you have done in Richard's shoes? Would you risk everything for what's right, or let it slide for the sake of comfort? Drop your thoughts below. Where do you stand when justice knocks? And who would you trust to answer?